For some document design projects, you'll have complete free design reign. You can make selections and decisions based on your understanding of the project and your client's needs. For other projects, however, you're going to need to work within design parameters established by an organization or company. Identity guidelines and brand standards are crucial, especially for big businesses, as these guidelines and standards ensure a consistent communications message. But big companies aren't the only organizations that have brand standards and identity guidelines. For instance, the Alzheimer's Society of the United Kingdom has an area of its site devoted to helping people understand and share its vision, mission, and values. Linked from that area of the site is their brand standards guide, which argues that a brand is more than a logo. Our brand communicates everything people think of when they see Alzheimer's Society. They launch their discussion of their identity with a tone of voice they attempt to achieve through all their communications: accessible, honest, respectful, straightforward, jargon-free, clear, and inclusive. And later in the brand standards guide, they introduce the two primary colors of the organization. George Washington University, in prefacing its identity standards and guidelines, states, "Our identity is a powerful asset. By consistently applying all of the elements of the George Washington University visual identity across all touchpoints, we create and maintain a strong brand that reinforces who we are, how we define our personality, and the value we provide to our key audiences." I want to share a brief video that does a fascinating job situating and explaining a major identity overhaul.
Our identity represents who we are, what we stand for, where we're going. In 2000, we introduced a new identity for the Heineken Company, an identity that connected us and looked to an exciting future on the horizon. Since then, we have traveled a great distance. We seized opportunities. We entered new markets. We grew our portfolio of iconic brands. We welcomed many new colleagues with a shared passion for quality, with a restless drive to improve and to innovate. We've become more international, more visible, more diverse, and yet more united. We made a long-term commitment to protect and enhance the world around us. In short, we've become a truly global company, a different company, a company that has outgrown its current identity. That's why we are ready to embrace a new visual identity, one that will show the world who we are today and reflects our ambition for tomorrow. Our new identity represents a company with a solid foundation and almost 150 years of excellence, a commitment to be green. It reflects that as one, we are greater than the sum of our parts. We're a company that possesses a unique spark that harnesses an energy and passion to be world-class, a dedication to quality and innovation, to spark new ideas. It's that special spark that makes us stand out from the crowd and pushes us to explore new opportunities. The new visual identity acknowledges that the Heineken brand unites us. And while our new identity pays respect to the brand, it does not imitate it. It reflects where we've been, but more importantly, where we're going. It is us. We are Heineken.
It is no coincidence, and nor is it luck, that Coca-Cola Red is always that shade of red, or that the word Pepsi appears aligned the way it does on signage, ads, billboards, and more. Just as most major organizations and companies have a style guide explaining typical terms and correct usage of words, grammar, and more, most major organizations and companies have identity guidelines or brand standards to ensure a consistent, cohesive visual identity. KFC, like most other chains, has multiple brand standards books. When they launched their So Good campaign in 2010, they created a specific book for franchisees to create localized advertising while remaining true to key aspects of the overall KFC brand and the So Good campaign. One of the arguments made in the booklet was consistency is key, and examples were included of appropriate and not appropriate uses of the campaign collateral. The brand standards and identity guidelines I'm most familiar with are those of Michigan State University. MSU's brand standards are a living document. We're in version 5, launched this past June. The official brand standards booklet introduces the idea of a brand for a university community, talks about key features of the MSU brand, and includes specific design detail about how to set headlines, use the 2 font faces that represent the university, the color palettes for current students, recent grads, alums, and others, and much more. I've linked to the MSU Brand Standard Guide on this Lesson 7 page if you want to spend some more time with it. For now, though, I want to share some examples of the brand standards being implemented. For Lesson 6, we looked at the MSU President's Report as an example annual report. The portal into the report uses Gotham Black and Gotham Book, 2 fonts from one of the 2 font families MSU uses for its brand identity. Spartan's Will is important copy, key to our brand identity. And we can also see here the approved appropriate use of the Michigan State University text treatment in the lower left. My college, the College of Arts and Letters, uses but has expanded the MSU brand standard. You can see the click here for Craig's story and the prospective students' images, each with a solemn notch at the bottom. This is part of the university's brand standard and graphic guidelines. You can also see the use of Gotham on some aspects of the site. We added an additional font, Bickley script. Student Stories appears in this font face. We wanted to add a script font along to the 2 university brand standard faces. In the first video, I shared a brochure with you. Here's an early version of it. You can see the implementation of certain key MSU brand standards, including the use of Gotham. Here's another web-based implementation of the brand standards, the front page of the College of Communication Arts and Sciences website. They put to great use the bold MSU secondary colors and also the Gotham font face. And here's an MSU unit, the Facility for Rare Isotope Beams, that hasn't yet adopted the university brand standards. We do see the MSU text treatment in the upper right, but we also see a green shade that used to be the brand standard for MSU before we rebranded and shows a darker shade of green. We don't see the recommended use of copy, headlines, or any of the graphical elements, so what we get essentially is a visual disconnect. And creating a visual connection and brand consistency is what identity guidelines are all about.